Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Fun with Flags. Crap, I've done that again. Anyhow, another exciting edition of International Play Your Vectrex Day. A day when people play their Vectrex. So this year, I've got something extra for people to actually have a look at. Some rare games and some prototypes that people may not be aware of, or they may be aware of but have not seen any video footage for. So, first things first, we've got one game which has actually been revealed recently due to its inclusion in VIDE, therefore slightly taking away its impact as we fire it up. This is Berserk Arena by Alex Herbert. He originally conceived this as a deathmatch, one-on-one maze game where you could connect two Vectrexes up using a cable. Obviously I've only got one Vectrex here, so I'm going to attempt to play a game versus the computer. Its AI is pretty tough, so let's see how well I get on. So if we start a solo game, and then we can pick a maze. Let's pick Core Arena there, for example. We've got 3 kills to win, and away we go. So we can move left and right, and buttons 2 and 4 rotate you, and button 3 fires. If you can hear the little ticking sound in the background, the faster it goes, the closer it means that the enemy is to you. There are also some power-ups to pick up if you can find them. Buck it off. I think we'll call that one a draw. Ooh. Power up. Rockets. It's quite injured, as I can hunt him down in times of different question. Speed up. Cheeky little bugger. Oh, it just got phalange, little. I got him that time. Ooh. Phew. I win! Yay! But that should give you a good idea about how annoying it was that Alex wasn't able to finish and release it properly. Maybe it will get a release in the future. Who knows? Next on the agenda is another game that Alex was developing and didn't fully complete. This game's called Xylo. presuming XY low attack, maybe. But as you can see from the introduction demo, it's a pretty impressive technical game, even though not a lot of development actually was completed on it. So if I begin proceedings, moving up and down and doing that turns you around. I'm guessing in a slight afterburner method that you would be able to lock onto things and fire at them. So I'm pressing buttons 1 and 2 will fly you forwards and fly you backwards. And button 4 fires. Unfortunately, there doesn't appear to be actually any code in here to register hits, and I suspect this is all about as far as Alex got with the game, which is kind of disappointing because it looks really impressive in general. It would have been, I suppose, the closest you could say was like a Vectrex version of Encounter by Novagen Software. Let's see, you can fly over the trees, turn. Who knows how many more of these kinds of demos are out there that are just waiting to be found, that were never finished. So that's Xylo. The last game was by Martin Venting. He started it as a proof of concept, but didn't actually get too far with it either. Now this is called Stip. As you can hear, it's using the same music from Debris. That's because Martin was working on it at roughly the same time as Debris. And he'd actually demonstrated it, I believe, at one of the Eurocons, maybe 2004, 2005. But I guess like a number of other projects, it didn't get past the initial design stage or had enough time to actually go and complete everything that he was working on. So I'm guessing it was going to be some sort of platformer. You could move around your raster character here at the bottom, and there's a bunch of platformers with some really nicely animated enemies on the platforms there, to give you an idea of what it possibly could have ended up like. The other thing to consider is that it looks quite sparse. The reason for that is that Martin had actually planned on putting some overlays to go with the game, and that you would actually have an overlay per level. So as part of the purchase, I've actually got 4 overlays, which I think the 4 that he actually manufactured when originally demonstrating the game. So we've got that one here, we've got this one here, and kind of like an ice and clouds one here, and we've got one that's got a couple of platforms and a nice big smiley sun up the top. So if we try putting that on here and get it locked into place, there we go. Hopefully the effect can come through on the video. It's a bit hard to tell unless you're actually really playing it like I am, but the overlays do add an awful lot to proceedings, and it would have been interesting to see just how far Martin could have gone with it had he continued with it. I suspect the idea was that having separate overlays for each level would have ended up making the game quite prohibitively costly for people to actually buy it. So that may be one reason why the idea was nixed. but the overlays are really well detailed and really high quality, which kind of suggests that yes, it probably would have ended up costing like €100 if there'd been an overlay for every level. So that's Stip. That's about as far as I think Martin got with it, that you can actually walk around and about it. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video and keep playing your Vectrex.